Everyone, welcome back. My name is Zane and today we'll be having a look at Polestar. Here are 10 things you might not have known about Polestar and its cars. Going from a racing brand to a global EV manufacturer in a span of a few years. Now, Polestar might have not had the most high-profile manufacturer in the race to make electric cars popular, but it's very much underrated. The company has backing from one of the biggest automotive conglomerates on the planet and over 20 years of motor race privilege, pedigree to inform the development of its road car. In some ways, the tales of Polestar origin is a little like the Italian performance powerhouse Maserati in that it started as a racing team before eventually pivoting to road cars. So these are the most criminally underrated class. Now, however, unlike the Italian company, the Maserati company, Polestar's evolution has been much more recent affairs, as the entire outfit was only founded 26 years ago. So exactly how has Polestar gone from a Swedish touring car maker to a global EV manufacturer in such a short space of time? So let's take a look at a few things you probably didn't know about Polestar. Starting with the first one. They started as a Volvo racing team. The brand's origin can be traced back to Flash Engineering Team, a smart outfit formed in 1996 to compete in the Swedish Touring Car Championship. The company changed brands several times in its early years, eventually being rebranded to Polestar Racing and starting to modify its own Volvo race cars. Two early examples were the S40 Super Touring and the X60 S2000 shown. A number of other touring car Volvos were also produced throughout the 00s until the brand began pivoting to making street legal Volvos as well as ones for the circuit. The next thing you probably didn't know about Polestar is that it's now owned by Chinese conglomerate Geely. This is where the ownership of the brand starts to get a little bit complicated, as Polestar didn't officially become a subsidiary of Volvo until 2015, existing as an independent partner before that point, but the two companies released several official Volvo cars together before that point, including the S60 Polestar concept shown right here. So in 2015, Volvo bought out Polestar altogether, which brought it under the umbrella of Geely, a Chinese manufacturing conglomerate that had purchased Volvo in 2010. With this new Chinese-Swedish ownership, plans began to be drawn up for the future of the brand of Polestar. Now, the next thing you probably didn't know about Polestar is that the racing team became CN Racing. It was decided that Polestar brand would become exclusive to road cars and that the racing team would be renamed CN Racing. CN switched from working primarily on Volvos to working with one of Geely's other brands, the Chinese maker Lynk & Co. So their partnership is ongoing, and cars like the Lynk & Co. 03 CN have proved that they're a force to be reckoned with on the touring car circuit. With the racing team renamed, working on new projects, Geely was free to reshape the Polestar brand into its mark as it is today. So next thing you probably didn't know about Polestar is quite exciting. The Polestar brand became its own car maker. This was official, this was big, this was huge. The first Polestar branded car was introduced to the world in 2017, as it became clear from the start that Mark would retain its close link to Volvo. There are clean designs similarly between the two companies, and some parts are also shared. In fact, the Polestar 1 is based directly on a design of the Volvo Concept Coupe from 2013, which itself channels Volvo's classic cars like the P180, like the P1800, the newest production Polestar, the Polestar 2 is similarly styled with clear inspiration taken from the Volvo XC range of SUVs. So next up, it gets even more exciting. Polestar cars are all electric. Yes, indeed. So what makes Polestar different from Volvo? Well, the answer is that it's 100% electric and has been ever since its debut. The brand aims to directly compete against the wave of EV startup like Lucid, Byton, XPeng, plus bigger names like Tesla, Rivian, So eventually it's likely that Volvo cars will become all electric too, at which point Polestar will essentially become a luxury arm of the company, a bit like Lexus is to Toyota and a bit like Porsche is to VW. Until then, Polestar's main selling point is the futuristic mode of propulsion, which ensures a quieter, smoother, more powerful driving experience than a standard gasoline car. Next up is the Polestar 1 itself. It was the first production car. So yes, the concept was from a 2013 Volvo concept car, and similarly between the car and its parent company, the signs are clear to see. So it's a refined Grand Touring that combines performance with a Swedish chic that Volvo has become known for in recent years. It's available for roughly $150,000 and only 150 examples are available each year. It's the halo car from Polestar, but also for the Volvo range overall. So next up, you probably didn't know about Polestar. In comparison to the exclusiveness of the Polestar 1, the Polestar 2 is in polar opposite. It appeals directly to buyers of the bigger growing segment in the United States, crossovers, and its competitiveness price to boot. Starting at a fraction of under $48,000, the car is convincingly alternative to the Tesla Model 3 or the Kia EV6. It comes with some of the chic appeals as its pricier siblings, but with all the practicality of a liftback crossover. Its range is also competitive, with up to 270 miles available from a single charge. Next up, the Polestar still makes performance Volvos. Isn't that something interesting? As well as branching out with its own electric vehicles, Polestar still develops performance version of the regular Volvos under the Polestar Engineered badge. One of their most recent products, the S60 Polestar Engineered, which originally debuted in 2018 as a 410 version of the S60 sedan. Similarly beefed up version of the V60 and XC60 were also unveiled shortly after, each with a limited production run and a loftier price tag than a standard car. The S60 has received generally positive reviews from critics, with British newspaper The Sun calling the car a marvelous effort. We have the Precept review, the upcoming new model. This will be turned into the Polestar 5. It started as a Precept, and this car was not supposed to be a production car, but there was so much interest, so much demand for this vehicle that Polestar decided to make this car, and they're renaming it to the Polestar 5 because it will be different from the Precept. Its design also focuses on sustainability with materials like flax. There are also a number of cutting-edge autonomous tech features like roof mount LiDAR, suggesting Polestar could take center stage at Geely's flagship brand for autonomous driving in the near future. So the final thing you don't know about Polestar, the Polestar 3, 4, and 5 are all on the way. Polestar will release one new vehicle each year. At the end of this year, they will release the Polestar 3, an SUV. Next year, they will release the Polestar 4. I believe that's also an SUV. And in 2024, they will release the Polestar 5. That is based on the Polestar Precept. And that's the luxurious sedan that will compete against the Tesla Model S, the Porsche Taycan. And I'm just seriously excited to see this thing when it does come out because I want this car. Now, the Polestar 5 has been confirmed for 2024 as a Super GT that aims to rival those of Porsche Taycan, all the e-tron GT, and of course the Tesla Model S. The Polestar 3 is slated to be an SUV, and the Polestar 4 is a crossover aimed at taking on the Porsche Macan, and Porsche is working on an electric Macan, which is even more exciting. So there are bold claims for a company that's still a fairly small player in the automotive world, but if Polestar past transformations are anything to go by, it may well become a bigger name in the near future. And I have confidence in that. I'm fully confident that Polestar will be one of the biggest EV manufacturers in the near future. So I do hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope you've learned something new, because I've definitely have. Within this research, within my research overall, I've definitely learned new things and it's been great. So thank you for watching. Subscribe to see more, leave a like, leave a comment, and of course, I will see you in my next video.